Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about an important topic in pathology which is called cell adaptation. So we are going to discuss its definition and then the forms or the types of cellular adaptation. So first of all, what is cellular adaptation? So actually cellular adaptation can be defined as the process or a condition whereby a cell change its structure in several forms in order to adjust itself or to withstand a kind of stress that is acted upon that particular cells or any that is harmful changes that occur due to any reason can make the cell to adapt or to change its structure actually so that to adapt with the change in the environment. So that's the definition of cellular adaptation. So what are the types of cellular adaptation? How do these cells adapt? The cells actually of our body adapt via several mechanisms, but the most important ones we discuss is here. So number one, we have hypertrophy. Hypertrophy. So what is hypertrophy actually? Hypertrophy is defined as the enlargement or increase in size of cells. And actually, the cell adaptation, it is not happening in only one cell, but it is happening in all the cells of the organ, actually. So this hypertrophy is the increase in size. So defined as increase in size of cells in an organ, which is leading to increase in the size of the organ itself. Because if the cells increase in size, then definitely the organ, grossly we will see the organ it increase in size also. And we will only determine the increase in size of the cells when we take a biopsy and then look at the microscope. So that's it, increase in size of the organ. So we have two types of hypertrophy. We have physiological hypertrophy. Physiological. This occur due to actually not due to underlying pathology. It is called physiological, and it is even helping itself. For example, someone who is undergoing gym, especially someone in skeletal muscle, happening in skeletal muscle due to gym. So someone who is gymming actually every day, so his skeletal muscle are acted upon a kind of stress on that cells. So that stress on that cell due to everyday gymming by that person, so that cell can undergo increase in size so that to continue to adapt with that stress that had acted upon them. So let us see the example actually. So this is the example of a person who is undergoing gym. So always he is doing gym with this kind of exercising his body with this. So these muscles in his body, they are actually kind of undergoing stress because of increase in workload. So they increase in size so that to adjust itself. So how do these cells increase in size? Is they increase in the mechanism is they increase in synthesis of protein, especially the contractile proteins. So this is how they increase in size actually. So we have the pathological one. This is example of this, and also it occurs in uterus. Not normally, not actually uterus of non-pregnant woman, but pregnant woman actually. The uterus increase in size by hypertrophy and also by hyperplasia, as we will see that in a minute. Because now the woman is carrying a baby, so for that uterus to continue to carry that increase in weight of the baby, so now it has to undergo a kind of increase in the cells have to undergo kind of hypertrophy so that to make them to actually withstand the increase in stress. So this also a physiological hypertrophy occurs in skeletal muscle and then in uterus. Then we have the pathological one, which occur due to an underlying pathology. Pathological hypertrophy. So the pathological hypertrophy actually occur, for example, if someone is having a chronic hypertension, for example, for 10 years, for 5 years, so that person heart, for example, this is the heart, let us see. This is heart, actually. So this is left ventricular hypertrophy. See, this is a normal, this is a normal heart. So this is, see how it is becoming hypertrophic because of severe hypertension. So hypertension is pathology. So definitely the hypertrophy occurred so that to increase in the energy of it is pumping against that resistance due to hypertension. So that makes this wall to be taken, like just like the person that we saw gymming. So, but this is is due to pathology because hypertension is pathology, right? So this hypertension, this increase in size occur due to pathology. So it is pathological hypertrophy. For example, in like left ventricular hypertrophy, in chronic hypertension. That's a long time. In chronic hypertension. So that is it. So now we have number 2, we have hyperplasia. So the difference between hyperplasia and hypertrophy is both of them there is increase in organ size, but what makes them to differ is in hyperplasia only there is increase in number of cells, but there is no increase in size of the cells. So increase in number of cells. There is no increase in size of the cells. So this is hyperplasia. So increase in number and then increase in size of the cells may make an organ to be grossly to for us to see it is enlarged. So only we used to differentiate hyperplasia and occur or it is hypertrophy that occur. We only actually determine that when we take it and look the cells on microscope. So that is it. Because for example, this is hyperplasia. Because these are the cells. For you to actually get the point is when you look at the nucleus, you see the nucleus they are less than here because here the nucleus see they are very many, they are too much crowded cells. So this means there is increase in the number of cells. So the organ itself, we will see that organ increases in size. So that is it. So where do this hyperplasia occur? It occurs actually due to, for example, in the uterus, as we have said earlier, uterus undergo hypertrophy and hyperplasia occur in uterus also. So that is it. And in pathological, that is, this is physiological, and also the breast. In breast, a lady that is breastfeeding, that is during pregnancy also, are around, for example, 9th month. So the breast tissue undergo hyperplasia so that to increase, this is also physiological, to increase in the production of milk, and all this occur due to increase in estrogen. Yes, occur due to increase in estrogen. But the pathological one, actually, pathological hyperplasia. For example, we have BPH, benign prostatic hyperplasia. Our prostate is supposed not to increase in size or to increase in number of cells because we don't like it to constrict our urinary tract. For example, let us see the picture. So actually, this is it. This is the enlarged. This is the normal uterus actually. So when the normal prostate. So this is the normal prostate. So this is the enlarged one. If it undergo hyperplasia, so definitely it will constrict this urinary urethra. So if it constricts this urethra, so definitely the urine cannot come out. See the ovary, standard bladder. The bladder is filled with urine because there is no way the urine can pass. So this is pathological, right? So this hyperplasia is pathological. That is the disease is called BPH. That is benign prostatic hyperplasia. So that is it. Then again we have another cellular adaptation type. We have atrophy. And this atrophy means shrinkage or decrease in size of the cells. So if all the cells of our body, if all the cells of our organ undergo decrease in size or they shrink, that is shrinkage of cells is called atrophy. So if the cells undergo shrinkage, that is decrease in size, so definitely we will see the organ grossly. We will see the organ small decrease in size, right? And this atrophy occur due to different pathology actually, and it may occur in physiological because, for example, if we can say this is physiological atrophy. Physiological atrophy can occur in aged due to aging. In aging age, someone that, for example, around 70, 80 years, so they are aged people, right? So due to aging, the brain cells undergo atrophy. So that's it. And also uterus can undergo atrophy also. This is also physiological because when a lady goes beyond 51 years of age, some even 45, they undergo a kind of process called menopause. So at that time they can never give birth, they can never get pregnant. So the function of uterus is to carry a baby, right, during pregnancy. So now the function of that uterus cannot be maintained because now she's old. So that uterus, the cells of that uterus will undergo decrease in size. That is the atrophy. So that we will see the uterus decrease in size. So, but we have pathological that occur due to pathological condition. Pathological atrophy. This can occur due to, for example, many reasons. Number one, due to malnutrition. For example, if someone is not eating enough protein, for example, in his diet, so definitely the cells need protein for them to survive. So if you didn't take a lot of protein in your diet, so definitely the cells will undergo atrophy. So that's due to malnutrition. And also it may occur due to pressure. For example, if for example cancer, definitely massively growing cancer grow in an organ, so definitely that organ, that cancer will exert a pressure and on that particular organ, so that organ will undergo an atrophy because of the pressure actually that is put against it by that growing cancer. So that will make the organ that will make the cells to undergo atrophy. So you see the organ decrease in size. So that is it. Then the atrophy can also occur due to denervation. Denervation atrophy, called denervation atrophy. For example, if someone undergoes a disease called polio, we already know that polio virus affect nerves. So if that particular nerves undergo paralysis, so the muscles that is supplied that is supplied by the nerve, the muscle will no longer function. So if that muscle is not function, so definitely the cells of the muscle will undergo shrinkage because they are not used. That is also called atrophy of disuse. Because now the nerve that is supplying the muscle undergo paralysis, so definitely the muscle can no longer be used. So if they are not used, so definitely the muscle will undergo atrophy. So what is the mechanism of these cells to undergo atrophy? Is mechanism. Cells undergo atrophy actually by breaking down of their protein. For example, in hypertrophy, we said that the cells increase in synthesis of protein, but in atrophy, actually they decrease the synthesis of protein via a mechanism called ubiquitin proteasome pathway. They actually degrade their own protein from the cytoplasm, then inside the proteasome. So that's make the cells to undergo shrinkage. So that is it. Then we have metaplasia, the last one. We have metaplasia. So metaplasia means change of tissue, entirely the tissue change of tissue from one form to another. So that is what we call metaplasia. So that is, this is number 4. This is what we call the metaplasia. So this, for example, this metaplasia occur, for example, in someone who is smoking. Someone who is smoking, for example, someone who is smoking individual. As we have already know that the respiratory passages, they are lined by a kind of epithelium called pseudostratified columnar. Pseudostratified columnar epithelium. So now this pseudostratified columnar epithelium cannot withstand the increase in stress due to the smoking. So now they will change into squamous epithelium. That is stratified squamous. So this is called squamous metaplasia because they change into squamous epithelium. That is stratified squamous epithelium. So this is the example. So that is it.